Hello everybody, welcome back. Today we're going to run through a business calendar. So if you have a business, this may be useful to you. I do have a resource that I'm going to share in the link down below that you can print and keep. But we're just going to run through a bunch of deadlines that most businesses have and hopefully will help you keep track of all of the different things that you should be doing throughout the year. So, federal taxes. That's of course the thing on everyone's mind right now. If your business is taxed as an S corporation or a partnership, the tax deadline is March 15th. If you file an extension, it gives until September 15th. Those are due a month before the personals because the data from those returns passes through to the personal returns. In our office, it is a common practice for us to extend the corporate returns, the partnership returns, and just wrap them up alongside the personals, but you have to be aware that that deadline is the month before. April 15th, of course, personal returns. If your business is taxed as a sole proprietorship, it's filed with your personal return on a Schedule C. C corporation returns are also due April 15th. If you file an extension, you get an extra 6 months to October. One note on extensions, if you do work with our office, we do not do extended returns in September and October. We need them to be done in August because we focus on proactive planning. So despite the fact that the government will let you wait that long, please don't wait that long for your tax office. Estimated payments, if you are paying the IRS quarterly throughout the year, your deadlines for that are April 15th, June 15th, September 15th, and January 15th. If your business is taxed as a C corporation, that fourth quarter payment is due a month earlier, December 15th. Washington State. We are based in Washington State, so we are focused on Washington State Department of Revenue filings. Check with your state to make sure you know what you're supposed to file there. But Washington Department of Revenue will assign you a frequency depending on how much revenue you either have been earning, or if you are a new business, how much you told them you may be earning in the new year. So you may be monthly, in which case your deadline is the 25th of every month. You may be quarterly, where your deadline is the last day of April, July, October, and January. Or you may be annually, where you just file by April 15th, kind of alongside your personal tax filing. Watch out for cities. Some cities, Everett, Seattle, Lake Forest Park, Bellevue, a number of others, have their own B&O tax filing. Even though you're remitting your sales tax to the state, the city may have its own filing as well. So watch out for those. Those are usually quarterly or annually. A number of cities merely have a licensing fee. So you may not have a filing requirement, but be aware of that. If you are a LLC or a corporation, you have a entity formed with Washington State, then you have a Secretary of State annual report filing due every year. This one varies. It depends on the date that you formed your business. So you'll want to make a note of your renewal date. 1099s are due in January. These are your 1099 miscellaneouses, usually to landlords for the rent that you're paying for your business. 1099 NEC, non-employee compensation, is for your subcontractors, service providers, attorneys, anybody who is not your employee, is providing a service, not a product, that you may need to issue that. If you're a C corporation, you may need to issue 1099 DIV dividends as well. A couple of other oddball annual filings that are often forgotten. April 30th, your business is required to file a personal property tax listing with the county. This is misleading in that the title says personal property, but it means business property. When it says personal property, it means non-real estate. So the county requires that you declare what stuff your business has. So your desks and computers and other equipment that you're using, whatever you're using to run your business, the stuff gets listed on that property tax listing. That's due every year in April to update that. And then they send you a bill, which is usually quite small for most businesses. In October, an unclaimed property filing is due if you have any of these unclaimed funds. This is most commonly when you have refunds due to customers and you've been unable to deliver them, you've mailed them, the check's been returned, their address is no longer valid. Same with employees. If you have made multiple attempts to deliver those funds to the correct recipient and they have not cashed them, or you haven't been able to deliver it, there's a process to remit those funds to the state. And that is due October 31st. But that is a more complicated process. I definitely recommend looking at the state instructions for that. Payroll tax filings, I highly cannot recommend enough using a service like Gusto that manages all of these for you. Because not only are they all of these filings, so quarterly, your 941 to the IRS, Washington's Labor and Industries, Unemployment, Paid Family Medical Leave, and CARES Act filings, those are all due quarterly. And then once a year, the W-2s and the federal unemployment filing. So not only are there all of these filings, but there are also all of the payments, and the federal payments follow certain schedules that vary depending on the amount of payroll that you're paying throughout the year. Definitely use a service. It's a lot to keep track of. It doesn't cost as much as penalties do when you get it wrong. Any questions? Anything that I missed? Like I mentioned at the beginning, I do have a resource I'm going to link below. That resource is sorted by month. So January, February, March, everything we talked about is listed. There are a couple of months during the year that there aren't really deadlines. And so I've included a couple of things that you might want to think about in those months. Let me know if I missed anything. I'd love to get that updated. I hope you all have a wonderful week, and I'll see you next week. Bye.